Hello, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm gonna do the rapid fire book tag. I was tagged by the lovely, gorgeous, beautiful, kind, and amazingly smart and sweet Faye at Books and Chocoholic. I will link her down below. I don't know the original creator of the tag. I will look into it and then I will also link them down below. So make sure you check out Faye and the original creator. There will also be timestamps down below with all the questions. So if there's anything you particularly want to skip to, you can. Without further ado, let's get into the questions. I have them written down here. So if you see me looking down, I'm just reading the page. Question 1 is ebook or physical. Now, clearly I love my physical books, but I also am so obsessed with reading on my Kobo. But if I could only have one, like for the rest of my life, I would probably pick physical books because you don't need to charge it. You don't have to worry about it like dying or breaking or whatever. Or if it breaks, it's a lot cheaper to replace a paperback or a hardback than it is to replace an entire e-reader. So if I could only choose one, I guess I would choose physical. But just know, I stand by the Kobo. Question 2 says paperback or hardback. I enjoy them both. However, I am firmly in the camp that paperbacks are better than hardbacks. I love a hardback for like the look of it, and it makes the book feel like it gives the book like more substance. Like you pick it up, it's hard, like you're like, okay, yeah, like this is a book, you know, this book means business. But a paperback is just so much more comfortable to read. Like when you're sitting, you can flop it on stuff, lean it on stuff, it weighs less. So you're not sitting there like this, like breaking your wrists, or if you're trying to lay down and read. And I don't know, there's nothing that beats a floppy paperback for me. Like just flopping it or opening it and it just like lays open on its own. Literally so nice. So I'm definitely team paperback on this one. Question 3 is online or in store. I love the smell of a bookstore. I love going to the bookstore, walking around the shelves, taking your time. It sucks when you're like in a rush or you have people with you who are like, hurry up, like let's go. Or, you know, as a parent, if you bring your small child and they're like not interested and you're like, I'm trying to pick out some books and they just couldn't care less. So it kind of sucks when you're like rushed, but when you get to go with bookish friends or alone even, and you just get to stare at the shelves and like, you know, read the synopsis of covers that catch your eye, or, you know, try to look for books you've never heard of. Like, it's just such an adventure. Like, there's just a world of possibilities in front of you. And I feel like you don't get that same feeling when you're like shopping online for books, because you kind of have to search for something specific and then like scroll through options. But at a bookstore, like there's no keyword that you can put in. You're just literally browsing and you're just letting your eyes and interest like scan the shelves. Like you're just literally just scanning, and it feels so good when you pick up a book and you're like, I've never heard of this before, it sounds literally so fucking good, and then you buy it and you're like, oh my god, like did I just find a hidden gem? So definitely going in the store. Question 4 is, do you prefer trilogies or series? Now this is a hard one for me to answer. I actually love like the idea of a long series. Like give me 8 books, give me 10 books, you know, especially if it's a book series that like you're in love with the characters, you're in love with the plot, you're in love with the writing, the world like feels like home to you. In that situation, like I love long series so much, but I'm also a chronic unfinisher. I don't know why. Like there are book series that I love so much and I just haven't continued, and like there's no reason for that. There's literally no reason for that. And I'm trying really hard to be better about it because I do love like reading series and like getting to spend a lot of time with characters. And so I want to say like series, like longer series, but like in reality, I feel like trilogies are probably easier for people like me who like you want to spend a lot of time with these characters, but then like you get distracted and you move on to other books and other series, and then for some reason you never go back even though you love it, or you go back like and you have to go back after a while and reread everything. But I don't know, this one, it's like really close for me. I really want to say series, but like I think logistically I should say trilogies and I should read more trilogies because then maybe I would actually finish them, you know. Question number 5 is heroes or villains. This is another one where I'm like, Can I say both? I love a good hero. I love a good like chosen one trope. As long as they work for it and they train and you get to see them making progress and you get to see character development. Like they start out as a novice, they go through training, they're gonna learn like life lessons, they're gonna learn fighting lessons, like whatever it is that they're learning is gonna change them as a character, and like their motivations should change, their personality should like mature a little bit as they're taking this role like seriously. So when that's done well, round of applause, 10 out of 10. I love it. A lot of the times the character development or like the arc that I would love to like follow along just doesn't really like go all the way, or it's missing stuff, and it's like, you know, you're just like feeling unsatisfied by the arc that you get from the hero's journey or like the chosen one journey. But I also love a villain too. I love like a villain who starts out like really violent, really evil, and you don't know anything about them, but then you slowly piece together like their backstory and you like figure out what it is that made them this way, and then you're just like, my Shayla, you know, like you just feel bad for them because they actually have like real motivation and real reasoning to be this evil person. I hate like the villain monologue and then it's like, this is everything I'm gonna do, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't want to know what you're gonna do, just do it. So it's also really hard to find instances where the villain is written so well, but I don't know, I guess I have to say hero, and the only reason I'm gonna say that like I have to say hero is because like I love Shadow and Bone and I love the Six of Crows duology and the King of Scars duology. And I'm like not a Darkling, like I'm not a Darklina shipper, but like I don't know, I love the Darkling like as a villain, like I think he's a good villain, but I don't like ship them, like ew, no, like he's committed atrocities, like he doesn't deserve her. But also there are some cases where like I root for the villain. Like in a vlog I just posted for my series TKO Tokyo Ghoul vlog, you're following the ghouls and like they're technically like the bad guys, and I was rooting for them. Like there's these ghoul investigators who are like humans and they're trying to like protect the city and protect everybody and like prevent all these murders from happening. Like they're the good guys. They're so boring. I don't care about them. Couldn't give a shit. I'm like team ghoul all the way, you know what I'm saying? So like there are definitely cases where like I'm rooting for the bad guy, and then there are cases where I'm rooting for the hero. So this one's really hard. I want to say villain because like I'm an enemies to lovers stan, so like I guess that kind of like makes me want to lean towards villain, like especially like if you've watched K-pop Demon Hunters. Jinu, like if villain, why hot? If villain, why boyfriend shape? Hello? If villain, why love interest shape? You know what I'm saying? Like the villain, although he's not really a villain, I think he's a victim. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. This one's hard. I can't really decide. But also like there are times where the hero has to do like evil things, and I love that. Orca from Shadow of the Gods, if you know, you know. So like, you know, I don't think I can choose on this one. I think I love them equally. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can pick for this one. I'm gonna say tie, with the caveat that oftentimes I'm very picky about like the hero's arc and the villain's arc. So I don't ever like lean one way or another like right off the bat. I actually like want the writing to pull me in either direction. So this one, it depends. This one, it depends. It depends. That's all I can say. A book that I think everyone should read is Pet by Okweke Emezi. And the reason for this is that even though this is like, I guess it's technically like YA, I feel like everyone needs this message in here. And I don't want to spoil, so we're just going to read the synopsis. There are no monsters anymore, or so the children in Lucille are taught. Jam and her best friend, Redemption, have grown up with the lesson that the city is safe for everyone. But when Jam meets Pet, a creature who some might call monstrous, but in reality is anything but, she must reconsider what she's been told. Pet has emerged from one of her mother's paintings to hunt a true monster, and the shadow of something grim lurks in Redemption's house. No one has encountered monsters in years, and Jam's quest to protect her best friend and uncover the truth is met with doubt and disbelief. So, essentially, this book presents us with this monster named Pet, and Pet very much looks grotesque, looks monstrous, looks scary, looks evil, looks violent. But deep down, like, his purpose and like his reason for existing is actually to protect people. And through this book, there is very harrowing like signs that something is wrong with one of the children, something is going on, like there's something afoot that Jam, Pet, and Redemption are trying to solve. And basically the purpose of this book is to showcase that there are people out there who you might think are safe, and that you might feel, you know, as an adult, like, oh, that person is like a safe person. But in fact, like, anyone could be a monster. And not to judge people on their appearance, because Pet looks like a monster. Pet looks like he would be the one to, you know, eat someone or like cause someone harm. But in reality, somebody that you know and love, who you look at them and you see, like, you know, you see your relationship with them, and you see like, oh, we've known them for years, and you see their outward appearance and you're like, oh, they look completely normal, like, you know, they must be safe. Like, someone that you know and love could hurt you and cause you harm. And the line between monster and man is like a thin one. This book deals with themes of child abuse, and I think the way that it's done is so like tragic, but also kind of beautiful, because you don't ever like see it happening, but the message is still just as strong. Like, it's still so powerful. And yeah, I just really love books that talk about the juxtaposition of like right and wrong, good and evil, and how, like, you know, don't judge someone by their appearance. Also, I just think the writing is so beautiful in here. I've read this 3 times. It is definitely one of my favorite books. And I need to read more by Akwaeke Emezi. I've read Pet and Bitter, which I don't own yet, which is a shame, but I need to get Bitter. Bitter was also beautiful. But I think Pet definitely is one that I think everyone should read, because I feel like, especially in this current political climate where we have people who are trying to ban books like Pet because it is written by a non-binary author, and Jam is a trans girl. So I feel like it's more important now than ever to read books by queer POC that feature queer POC. And it also talks about how adults in the lives of children like are so integral for their safety and well-being. And, you know, to just be aware of like the fact that there are other adults out there that are going to be around your children. And I think it just kind of showcases that you just can never be too careful. Yeah, I'm trying not to spoil it, but I'm also trying a little bit not to cry. I love this book so much. I think you should read it. I don't really talk about it enough on my channel, so I'm really glad that I picked it for this answer. And if you haven't read it already, go pick it up. It's extremely short, 200 pages. It's 200 pages. It's got all these awards for a very, very good reason. So go read Pet now. Go read it. What are you waiting for? Just leave this video and go read this book. Question number 7 is to recommend an underrated book. Now, this book is not underrated to me. It is not underrated on this channel. I've talked about it numerous times. But I feel like in the wider bookternet, on BookTube, on Bookstagram, this book is criminally underrated, and that is The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. Why aren't you people reading this? Why? It's queer. It's whimsy. It's a portal fantasy. It's got found family. It has a lost princess. The fuck? You need to read it. This is the story of Emily, Jeremy, and Rafe. Jeremy and Rafe went missing when they were 16 years old in a forest, and they disappeared for 6 months. When they came back, nobody knew what happened to them. Rafe could not remember what happened to him, and the only person who remembered was Jeremy. But Jeremy can't tell anyone. Literally can't tell anyone. Fast forward, I think 15 or 16 years. Jeremy and Rafe are grown up. They've gone separate ways because Rafe knows that Jeremy's lying to him about something and wants to know what happened to him, and Jeremy won't tell him. So they've been, you know, they've parted ways as friends. In comes Emily, a young woman in her mid-20s looking for her lost, presumably dead sister's body. She was adopted when she was a baby, and after her adopted mother died of cancer, Emily thought, well, maybe I should reach out to my birth family, or like see if I can find my birth family, if I have any siblings or, you know, parents or whoever out there. The police inform Emily her sister's dead. So Emily searches out Jeremy, who is very famous for being a search and rescuer who has a very, very powerful talent to find missing children, specifically missing young girls. He can always find them. He has rescued so many girls. He's, you know, found a lot of dead bodies. And Emily is like, you know what? My sister's missing. I think she disappeared in the same forest he did. Maybe he knows her or would know the forest well enough to help me find her body, you know? That's all I'm gonna tell you. You learn all of that by the end of chapter 1, by the way, and on the synopsis, so that's not a spoiler. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. That's just the setup. And Emily and Jeremy take off on an adventure. They get Rafe involved because Rafe also disappeared in that same forest and they need his help. And there is something in the forest. And I just need to tell you, I love this book so much. I love it. Look, I've tabbed it. I've read it 3 times. Honestly, just talking about it makes me want to read it again. On a postcard here. Oh my gosh. And I have to talk about this every single time, but I haven't signed and personalized. I also read an arc of this. I got an arc of this on NetGalley, and it's become one of my favorite books of all time. I think that everyone should read this, and I think it's severely underrated. Not enough big booktubers are talking about it for me. I feel like I also don't know any small booktubers who are talking about it. So if you know anyone who's talking about this, send them my way because I'd love to chat about it. If you read this on my recommendation, please let me know. And I just love all 3 of these characters, honestly. They each like have their own backstory and things that kind of like culminate on their journey, and they all end up like sharing bits and pieces about themselves, and they become this like familial group. I hate when I talk about this book because every time I talk about this book, I want to reread it, and I don't have time for that right now. I have a TBR to stick to, which I never do anyways, but I'm gonna try. I want to reread this, but I can't. Soon. I'll reread it soon. I'll let myself reread it soon. Question number 8 is, what is the last book you finished? The last book I finished is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 14. I have an entire vlog about this series. I have a lot of thoughts that are non-spoilery about this series, so I'll link in the card and below. I think I said that earlier in this video. Honestly, I can't remember. This is the second video I'm filming today. Editing Rachel will figure it out, but I liked it. It was like a 3-star for me, and the series overall I gave like a 3.5 stars. If you're interested in a little bit of my reasoning as to why I didn't love the series as a whole, check that out. Again, it's non-spoilery, so you can watch it even if you haven't read it. But yeah, that's the last book I finished. And as of filming this, the last book I finished was on June 15th, and it's July 8th. I'm in a really bad breathing slump right now from moving, but my office is done, and I'm feeling like more bookish now with all my stuff around me. So I'm hoping to crack the slump soon, so I can finish another book sometime soon. Question number 9 is the last book I bought. I can't remember the last book I bought physically. I literally don't know. Actually, I think the last book I bought physically was volume 18 and 21 of Demon Slayer. I'm missing a couple volumes. I need to buy those ASAP. But yeah, I'm not sure. I bought them on Pango. I don't think I bought any books after that physically. But technically, the last books that I actually bought are on Kobo, and I got them on the Stuff with Fantasy Day that I will link the Instagram account for that down below. But I got Caraway of the Sea and Feathers of Dawn. Caraway of the Sea, I think, is queer, like pirate fantasy, and then Feathers of Dawn, I think, is queer shapeshifter dragon romantasy, I think. I haven't read them. I only heard about them when Jade from Jade Juniper was talking about them in one of her videos recently. If I can find the video, I will link that down below so you can also hear about what they're about, because I don't know yet. I haven't even read the synopses. I literally was like, that sounds good. Add to cart, add to cart. And they were on sale because it was the stuff with Fantasy Day. So I paid $1 for each of them, I think. It was fantastic. 10 out of 10 would do it again. Question 10 is weirdest thing I've used as a bookmark. I use bookmarks as bookmarks almost exclusively. Maybe a receipt from Barnes & Noble once or twice. I think one time when my son was like less than 6 months old, I was reading in his room and at like 3 a.m. because I had just fed him and I was waiting for him to burp and go back to bed. And I maybe used like a burp cloth to shove it in my book real quick and put my book down so I could transfer a sleeping baby to the bed. But other than that, I am using bookmarks. That's it. I'm using bookmarks. I'm sorry, I'm boring. Question 11, used books, yes or no? Yes. I love buying books secondhand, especially on Pango, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm supporting other readers, you know? Obviously, a used bookstore is good too, where you trade it in, you get store credit, whatever. But I just love knowing that my dollar bucks are going to other readers like directly so they can buy more books too. I love that. Question 12 says my top 3 favorite genres: easy, fantasy, sci-fi, and horror. Mostly fantasy, sometimes sci-fi, and recently I've been really into horror. Haven't read a lot yet. Actually, I'm doing the Black Horror Reading Challenge, so I'll link the Instagram for that down below. It's by Book Tribe with Bethany, I believe her name is. And so I've read up till this point now 6 Black horror novels this year. And I also read T. Kingfisher last year for the first time in October. I read House with Good Bones. So like I'm really loving horror lately. I haven't read a lot of it and I want to expand more into it and like get scarier, like read scarier things. But yeah, I've been dunking my toes in it and I love it so far. Question 13 says borrow or buy. I love to borrow books first and then buy them as trophies if I love them. And then that, what the fuck is that? I just had to kill a centipede. That was terrifying and now I need to tell my husband. There's also bug guts on the back of my paper. Anyways, what was I saying? Borrow or buy. I love to borrow them. And then if I love them, I will buy them after. Question 14 is character or plot. Character. Character 1000%. The plot could be so boring. If the characters are interesting, if the characters are interacting, if they are going on an interpersonal journey, if they have anything interesting at all to say or do or learn, I'm down. I'm so good. I could be reading the literal most impressive idea of a plot, the like craziest shit happening. If the characters are boring, I don't fucking care. I just don't fucking care. I'm so sorry. So make your characters great and I will love your book. It's simple. Question 15 is long or short books. Long. I love a big book. If I could kill a man with it, even better. I love long books. I'm a huge Stormlight Archive fan. I love a long book. There's just something so amazing about picking up a book that could concuss you and getting to spend so many pages enjoying and loving that story. Fantastic. Question 16 says short or long chapter. Short. Short. Dear every author ever, make your chapter short. Oh, but it needs to be long. No, it doesn't. There is absolutely a spot where you could break it in half. I don't care. I don't care. There's no reason that I ever need to read a fucking chapter that's an hour long. An hour for one chapter? Insane. Literally insane. I love flying through the chapter. If I feel like I'm flying through a book, I'm more likely to keep picking it up. If I feel like it's taking me forever to make progress in a book, it's gonna hinder my like desire to pick it up and keep reading. It's just simple. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Oh, question 17 says name the first 3 books I can think of. I'm not gonna look behind me. I'm not looking in my periphery. The Solstice Court by J. Juniper. The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. What are books? I've never heard of books before. How do I need a 3rd book. Don't look behind me. Don't look behind me. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Did I do it? Question 18 says books that made me laugh or cry. I'll give you one of each. A book that made me laugh, like literally out loud, to the point where I had to tell my husband the entire synopsis just to tell him a joke. Dungeon Crawler Carl, book 1. Loved it. Highly recommend. And a book that made me cry, The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. That's the hardest I've ever cried for a book in my entire life. I cried so hard my eyes were puffy the next day, and I cried so hard like in the moment that I gagged and threw up a little. If you've read the ending of that book, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I can't say literally anything. I can't even say who or what. I can't say. It will spoil everything. But just know that The Hunger of the Gods is the greatest second book in a series I've ever read. Like, normally the first book is fantastic, the second book slacks a little, and then the third book kind of like pulls it around. No. Banger, banger, banger. All three books, 5 stars. But The Hunger of the Gods, specifically, 10 stars. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. Number 19, our world or the fictional world? I'm a fantasy girly. I don't want to be in this fucking world anymore. Fictional. Fictional, fictional, fictional. Yeet me into a fucking medieval fantasy setting. I'm down. Yeet me into literally anything that's not this fucking country I live in right now, and I'd be great. Question 20 says audiobooks, yes or no? Yes and no. For really high fantasy that I've never read before, no. I need to be reading it with the eyes. I need to be engaging the brain muscle so I can understand what's going on. But I love audiobooks for like thriller, horror. If I'm rereading a book, I'll read it on audio if it's a fantasy. I love like a full cast narration, even though I feel like a lot of the books I read don't get it often. But yeah, I love, love, love a good audiobook. So absolutely yes. And they do count as reading. So can we stop arguing about that now? Question 21 says, have you ever judged a book by its cover? Yeah, I have. Absolutely. I'll give an example of I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons by Peter S. Beagle. This cover, fantastic. I looked at it and I was like, this looks so cozy. The title makes me feel like it's going to be so silly. I love the art style. There's a big castle. There's a bunch of dragons flying around. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. I hated it. It was also blurbed by Travis Baldree, and I feel betrayed because I love his books. I don't know what the fuck this was. The writing style, not for me. I also did listen to this on audio the first time I read it, so that was probably a mistake. I kind of want to like just hold on to it for a couple years, hope I forget about it, and then like read it again and see if I like it. And I also really want to try The Last Unicorn, but I think I'm gonna hate it, and I don't want people to be mad at me because I know that's like a lot of people's favorite book because it's like a classic fantasy. Oh, I don't want everyone to hate me, you know? But I hated this one. I'm so sorry. It was like a 2.5. Actually, it might have even been less than that. I can't remember. I've tried to black it out of my memory. Question 22 says book to movie or book to TV. This is complicated because I feel like there are instances where giving a book a movie is the right choice and giving a book a series is the right choice. So I think The Lord of the Rings, the original 3, Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King, fantastic. That was the right choice. I don't really think those books should have been turned into a TV show instead. I'm glad that they did it as a movie. But there are books like The Witcher, which I think turning it into a TV show was the right choice. But the wrong choice was veering so far off of the source material that Henry Cavill literally left the fucking show and said, no, not on my watch, I'm out. That was the wrong choice. But I do think like because of how many books there are and how epic the series is and how much material there is because there's so many video games, so many books, like turning it into a TV show was the right choice. But I don't think The Witcher could have been condensed down into like 2 or 3 movies. So definitely like it depends, honestly. It really depends. The Lord of the Rings, perfect for the movie. Even though they're long, like I love that. Fantastic. The Witcher definitely should have been a series. They should have just not fucked it up. Also like The Wheel of Time. There are so many books in that series. So I understand why they turned it into a TV show, even though Amazon fucking canceled it because they're idiots. They cancel everything that people like, apparently. Question 23 is, are there any movie or TV shows you prefer instead of the book? Probably like classic stuff. I'm trying to think and like I really can't think of any like adaptation that I like better than the book. I feel like there has to be one. Most of the time I prefer the books. I think there's one that I did say was better as a movie or a TV show. I feel like I was talking about this recently, like within the last year, and I just can't remember what that was. I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I can't remember. I think there might be, but I can't remember. So I'm sorry. And last but not least, question 24. I already forgot what it said. I just looked at it. Question 24. Series or standalone? Series. I love series. I love series so much, but I also love standalones. But there comes the problem where, like, if you read a book and you love it so much and it doesn't have a sequel and you need it to have a sequel, but it doesn't because it's not a series, it's a fucking standalone. And so your life sucks because all you can think about is what happens after that. I need to know more. I didn't get enough answers. I love series, and I wish authors would give me sequels when I want them. But I will say, I also hate when a book is like meant to be a standalone and it wraps up nicely. There are no answers left unsaid, or there's like very minimal things left unanswered. And then you just randomly get a sequel and you're like, we didn't need this. And then it sucks and it like ruins the whole story for you. That sucks too. So series, but only if they need to be series and not if you're making a standalone a series and it didn't need to be a series. But I do also like standalones. But a lot of standalones that I fall in love with, I wish were series because I love them and want more. So series. This took way longer to film than I initially anticipated. I hope it's not that long for you. I'm sorry if it is. And if it was really long for you to watch, thank you so much for sticking around this long and watching. If you made it this far in the video, leave a unicorn emoji down in the comments and I will see you in the next one. Bye!